Lifeweb. One of the most revolutionary games of the year, if not the decade, and the spiritual successor to Dwarf Fortress and RuneScape. Unlike the aforementioned games, Lifeweb is not a work of fiction, but a documentary about life in medieval times. Lifeweb is made by a drug-addicted Russian man whore who goes by the nickname Randy Sandy. He claims that he conceived the idea for the game on the toilet when he had explosive diarrhea after drinking tap water. He wanted to make thousands of others, quote, suffer well like I did, unquote. Lifeweb has many realistic elements which add to its simulation aspect. Characters have the need for food, water, sexual intercourse, social contact, defecation and urination. The game's realism can be compared to The Sims, if it was set in the Middle Ages. Thanks to its huge player base, which is mainly composed of masochists, many mainstream developers have taken notice to Lifeweb and have started borrowing from its astounding game mechanics, such as limb dismemberment and realistic combat techniques. Lifeweb has a rich and in-depth backstory, with important elements such as Donald Trump merging the United States of America with the Trinet Corporation, and a computer running Windows 95 achieving sentience and taking over a state-of-the-art space station. Lifeweb is centered around Ravenheart Fortress and its inhabitants. Each player can participate in the story by choosing one of the many different roles available, such as hobo, ISIS militant, snake, and immigrant. Each role has its own characteristics, stats and skills which set it apart from other classes. For example, a security officer has a higher muscle stat than say, a doctor. This makes him deal more damage in combat, and lets him carry more weight. The creator of the game has put a lot of work into explaining strange occurrences in the game, such as why am I feeling thirsty? I just chugged a whole bucket of water 5 minutes ago. Why is my son 5 years older than me? And why does eating a burger make me defecate enough manure to fertilize a farm able to sustain a small country? Why? There is a perfectly logical explanation to all those questions. Lifeweb. While Lifeweb might be a revolutionary game, it has its imperfections. For example, most of the areas in the game are pitch black, making it impossible to navigate. The game also suffers from a very hostile community, turning away any would-be newcomers trying out the game for the first time. There are also many bugs in the game like dying instantly after spawning due to your character being too old and having a heart attack, and dying by a single hit from NPC enemies. The game also lacks many classic FPS elements such as health pickups or passive health regeneration, instead relying on complex surgical procedures for things as simple as a severed arm. Many of the classes in the game also lack any combat skills whatsoever, putting them at a disadvantage against specialized combat roles. Contrary to popular belief, Lifeweb is a pay-to-win game. Donors can acquire overpowered roles such as the Crusader, which can steamroll most combat classes. Donors can also acquire custom perks like having a 100% chance of spawning with a 12-inch penis. All in all, I give Lifeweb a rating of 2 out of 3.